start the show off with a little bit of toilet trauma.
Just start the show.
I'm gonna start. Yeah.
Don't tell me. Just do it.
I'm doing. No, we're on air.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. This is the D Trout Spinners podcast. I want to say that for them who don't know.
No, that's
even
good
though
that
even though you clicked on the button that says D Trout Spinners, I want to tell them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is like because this is more informal entry, isn't it? Like to the podcast. I always like to start off with a bit of toilet trauma. Gary, you listening?
Hey, Mars,
so
I'm always listening.
The last pub we were in, they've got a seat that's too small for the body of the toilet when you sit on it. Also, it's not really connected, so you're sort of moving around. There is a lock, and it doesn't lock. Someone walked in on me, and then I was like, whoa! So I shut the door again. And it just got me thinking that I just always think, when I come out of this pub, I'm probably going to see you, because you're going to know that I was there, and it's going to be this unsaid thing that you've now seen me with my jeans off.
And that was the D Trout Spinners podcast. Welcome.
Let's get it going.
Next week we're gonna. next week. Yeah. That is a horror. Yeah, but Miles' stomach is often quite bad. We talked about this. IBS.
This is what people listen to on this day of all days.
This
week of all
Miles,
weeks.
what is this week?
Oh,
there is power in a union. Right wing, wrong wing.
Billy Bragg over here.
Billy Bragg. Yeah. Miles has turned into Billy Bragg.
I'm actually enjoying politics for the first time ever, I'd say. I actually know quite a bit about it. Like I can hold a conversation.
Well, Miles
definitely don't know as much as you.
No, but that's okay. But Miles, many people, including Miles and my mother, were politicised during the Brexit referendum. And my mum went the wrong way, sadly, this time. But you've gone the right way. But yeah, it was a very politicising election.
What happened? Who got a majority?
Well, I don't want to talk about that. I actually don't know the majority that the Conservatives got because I haven't checked since. But it was something like 79.
Yeah,
something like 79.
Quiet. Boris is listening. Imagine if he was listening to this. Do you think it'd change anything?
Floppy head wanker. There you go.
Now, but we're actually here to talk about. My name's Miles Pennell, incidentally, and this is
Gary Forrester. Yeah, get on
Gary
with it.
Forrester.
I don't know bothered about saying my name.
Today we're talking about the XFM shows. This is episode 3 of September 7th, 2002. I'll put a link in the bio so you'll be able to listen to this show.
I won't put a link in the bio because I don't give a shit about doing any of that stuff. But Miles actually likes
it. It's also quite nice for listeners to understand what we're talking about, Gary. Which gives
No. But all I'm saying is I'm not going to do it. I agree it should be done. I'm just saying I don't.
Mate, 100% understand you're not going to do this because I'm the fucking mug in this relationship. All right.
No, you like it.
No, that's true. That's true enough.
And I just like doing it. I like the immediacies. You know, we used to do radio together. I'm not going to harp on about it, but we used to do radio together. It was we liked it. We enjoyed it.
We were one of the most successful radio shows on Hospedia Channel 1.
Between 1 and 3 on a Sunday. We were the most successful show that's been on 1 and 3 on Sunday. Wow. And I bet we were the most successul, including what's been since with Chris Chase.
Oh yeah.
Can you just say Chris Chase? I don't know
who Chris Chase is.
No, but I'm introducing him as a character.
Oh,
I'm just
is
saying,
he one of your comedy characters?
Chris Chase. He's ruined that station. Anyway, go on. He could sue that.
I'd
love if he sued because it would give us publicity.
Before we start talking about this episode, I wanna. We've had a bit of listener feedback, Gary. There are now 3 episodes available to listen, so please do like and subscribe and check them out because they're pretty good actually. I was surprised. So one of the listener feedback, and it's not all positive. I'll just lay that out. No idea what you were talking about.
Well, I don't. I don't know what we're talking about.
So I think we should preface this. This is a show, to answer that question, this is a show about the Ricky Gervais XFM shows that broadcast between 2002, 2005 at better times.
Yeah. Is that Dickie Anders?
Is that Dickie Anderson?
I'd love to get Dickie Anders on the show, by the way.
People were surprised that I knew someone called Gary. And that you were... And also, they thought you would sound weedier than you do.
What do you mean knew someone called Gary? Do they know me or not?
No, they don't know you. I talk
Do they know you?
Yeah, I work with them. But I talk about you a lot.
Why would they think I sounded weedier? Because you talk about
no,
me.
I think they were imagining you because your name's quite a masculine old man name. So I think
why
they were
would they
expecting-
think I sounded weedier?
I think they thought you'd be more
because the
masculine.
way you talk about me.
No. I think it was.
Oh,
just,
I am masculine, but I'm not.
You're a man, yeah, sure. So that was we had good chemistry.
Yeah, I don't. Not bothered.
I've got
about
two
this.
more points. That was from my mum. It was nice to hear your voice in reference to me. So they weren't actually interested in the content, but the voice was a major selling point. Some felt.
I don't think this is our audience.
Well.
The people who you know at work aren't necessarily the people that we will be
Also,
aiming for.
yeah, 5 people that I know at work. Some felt that you spoke too much.
Who?
That's one of mine.
You spoke too much. You said that I spoke too much. Hang on, I spoke less than 50%.
That's a joke. That's a gag. Smile.
Good, yeah.
It's a Saturday.
I always smile, as you know.
Gary famously, fucking
I know,
hell,
I do, I'm smiling.
even you fake smiling. That was
No, was it? It was a real smile.
Was it?
I couldn't keep it off my lips.
So yeah, we're talking this show. It's episode 3 of series 2.
A very good show.
A bloody good meal, I tell you.
A bloody good meal, but a very good show. And I think it's near to the start. We're not quite there, but it's near to the start of what I would call the golden era.
Yeah.
Which is about episode 8 in. And that is to the end of series 3.
Yeah.
Which is the golden era.
I think so.
He was reading the news. That's episode at the end of the episode.
I can't wait to get to those later episodes, but
yeah, we got to.
This one, yeah.
By the way, the next episode we're doing is not episode 4; it's episode 5 because episode 4 is a compilation show, so we're not
we won't
doing
do
that. So, in case the listeners were waiting on episode 4, I wanted to hear Gary talk too much on episode 4. Well, I won't be.
So to set some context for what actually happens in the show, it explains that Ricky and Karl spent the first half an hour of the show playing football, but things turn sour when Karl is annoyed and Ricky can't record links for the best of show that they'll play next week because he has to go on holiday.
He absolutely could have done those links. I'm certain he could have done those links because Ricky's the sort of person who it's like the show we did 2 shows ago where Ricky needed to get to the train station, but Ricky got there way too early just so Steve couldn't get his flight because it could easily have gone to the airport first. But Ricky doesn't like getting places late. So
I think he also likes to play the part of like a sort of diva, kind of like a radio diva.
No, but he is a diva.
It just makes me laugh when you go.
Plays a part.
When they discuss it at the end, they're like, "No, we must record these things." So okay, I'll do some now.
And then they try and do it on air. Like you can't do it on air.
But this is like the first. And then Steve says, "See, this is why. Sorry, guys. This is why we should have been planning at the start of the show."
But that actually is one of the things I love, and actually like the fact that this is really important. The fact that they do their preparation. They do one of 2 things. They either do their preparation on air, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
do that.
What other show does that? And I love that about them. Mm-hmm. Or they do their preparation off air and then talk about it on air, which you shouldn't do. They break all the rules of how a radio show should be done, and for that I love it.
I think it's a major selling point of the show. But this is like because I think you get a really good sense of like the ferocity and the conflicting personalities in the show because they do proper go at loggerheads and you understand Karl's annoyance when he's just trying to get stuff done and he's being stopped all the time by Ricky and Steve.
Yeah.
So it starts off, he's going to Sorrento. Ricky Gervais is going to Sorrento.
I like the bit where he says, because he's like, oh, you can get an upgrade to first class. And he goes, I'm going first class anyway.
Well,
you know how much he loves to say that on
Yeah.
air. He absolutely loves that opportunity to say he's going first class.
But
Sorrento's lovely. It's a very posh place of it. No. But it's a lovely. I know of
Judith Sharma's talking about it. I've never been to Italy, but it did get me thinking about because he talks about.
We were going to go to Italy once, weren't we? Do you remember that?
One of
Do you
those
remember
times.
that? We were going to go to Italy.
I think we will go to Little Italy.
Little. We're going to a spa.
We are going to a spa.
Yeah,
we'll
we need
talk
to
you
book that actually
later.
later.
Maybe listeners can feedback.
Do I sound too weedy?
I feel bad now. That's
Did you say I sounded too weedy or not too?
They said you sounded weedier than we thought.
Yeah,
you did.
But I don't
But I
sound
don't think
weedy.
you do.
I know I don't sound weedy. I am weedy, but I don't sound
yeah,
weedy.
no.
So I think that's very harsh. Who was that? Who said that? What's their
I
name?
don't want to
and
give names.
What's their
and
name and
addresses.
address?
I
Well,
don't,
what is
I
their?
don't want to give postcodes.
What's their
out on air.
postcode? Yeah.
That's great comedy minds.
What's their postal reference number?
Can't tell you.
Okay.
But no.
Is it a woman?
I don't respect that opinion because actually.
No, I don't sound weedy.
To build a visual appearance so that you know the sort of voice that's coming out of this weedy.
But I don't. I have quite a deep. I've got a deeper voice than you. I've got a deeper voice than most
I've
people
actually
my
commented
age.
on
Like,
your
I've
voice
got quite a
before.
deep voice. I
Well,
don't.
yeah.
One thing I don't sound is weedy. Now I am weedy. I wouldn't get in a fight.
No,
I wouldn't get in a fight.
Have you ever been
so
in a fight?
Yeah, I had a fight in the school.
What was it?
I've got
Who
an
won?
anecdote about this.
Tell it now.
It was kind of a draw. No. This is something else
Oh,
to come
okay.
out later. But
well, he talks about going on holiday, and he's saying, can you go to a cathedral? Steve's asking, could you go to a cathedral and be in awe of it? And he says,
I love Ricky's honesty.
Yeah,
in this. He's so
because
honest.
he says, if there's any soaking up to do, I can do that later.
Later,
your memory of
when we're in the bar. Yeah, but
that does get me thinking because I've often said this about like you know most European cities that have an old town, or they have a hall or a cathedral or a square, and you're like and you always go to this thing, but once you've seen one, pretty much seen them all.
But I like what Ricky says. He's like, if I see one and it's big, but I've seen a bigger one, I say, that's big, but I've seen a bigger one. But
Let's go.
if I see one and it's the biggest one I've ever seen, I go, God, it's the biggest one I've ever seen. He's very honest
Let's
with
go.
that. Like
That's
he
what he
is,
just
he
said.
is on it. Yeah, but Ricky, he shows two parts of himself. One, I don't like the arrogance, but two, I do like the honesty. He is honest at
Oh my
this
God,
period in his
100%.
career. Like he's
Also, you get the sense that he's always been like this,
And
like,
he-
this isn't new.
No,
for him.
and he is genuinely fussy. Like Steve talks about him eating, and later episodes we'll get to.
When
And
he
I
said-
can't stand
Oh,
like
when he
sausage
says
and
when
mash.
yeah,
Like
oh my-
sausage and mash.
And he said, "I can't eat with you." He gets He gets bored drinking a glass of water.
Well, that's yeah.
I do understand.
I do understand that. Yeah.
because it is boring. I mean, it's not Coca-Cola.
Because what's interesting is like Steve says a lot of things that episode that Ricky laughs at, but he doesn't laugh at that. Like he just says, yeah, and actually, because it's quite a logical point. It is boring drinking the glass of water. It is quite boring. But
I'd much prefer a
glass of-
lovely glass
glass
of
of
sparkling apple cider from the orchards of England.
Orchard Wankers or something it was called.
Orchard
A
Wankers.
stupid name. It's
That's
called.
going to be my special brew.
Am I talking too much? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So
Well, it doesn't matter because people like the sound of
I
my
don't
voice
give a
anyway. I'm just saying.
shit what people think.
Well, I know, but
You know, all you and this is how Miles and I work. Miles will tell everyone about the show that he knows, or
this
lots
is
of
not
people.
true, what
No,
you're
but
about
no,
to
no,
say.
but
What are you
it
gonna
is.
say?
It is. I won't tell anyone about the show. That's true.
Yeah.
I won't tell anyone.
Have you not
And
told anyone about this show?
Not yet. And I'll tell
Are you going to?
Yes, I will. But I want us to
You
build
tell
up
the
a
date
cachet
on
of.
Wednesday about your award-winning podcast.
Not really, because I don't think she'd appreciate the humour. I just don't. It's a. I'm not
Well,
going to say
that's the
why.
feedback.
Yeah.
Doesn't appreciate humour.
Doesn't appreciate Gary's humour and his weedy voice.
And it's weird. I don't think you sound weird.
I don't. I know I don't sound weedy.
Yeah, don't
I am
say-
weedy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't sound it. Fucking little piece of shit. I'll fight anyone. Just give me a
I'll fight 'em.
glockenspiel gun.
Oh no, I'll do this myself. No, I love.
Oh,
this.
good, smooth, mate, smooth. Go on. What are you saying? I love the. Oh, I've just.
I know, I love it. And then and when he's talking about it's like I do. Have you ever watched any opera? And he goes, I do like the old opera. I like those. I like the one that they did that World
That
Cup
two
one,
fat birds.
and those two fat birds they did in the Shawshank Redemption.
Now, interesting point. Have you ever watched an opera live?
I would like to.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
No.
To answer your question, Gary.
Well, please answer it and then talk about the
There's two things I would
supplementary
like to go.
point.
I would like to see an opera, and I would also like to go to see a ballet. Because I go to theatre a lot, as you know. I'm quite a cultured person in that respect.
I have no interest in seeing a ballet or an opera, but I do listen to classical music.
I like that you listen to classical, but I can imagine that's what you do, sitting in your lonely flat with a one armchair,
It's not one armed; it's got two arms.
swirling a tumbler.
It's got two arms, I'll have you-
Courvoisier.
I was swirling some Courvoisier on Thursday night, which was
On
the
Thursday
election night,
night?
which we were.
3 minutes after the exit poll, I ran to my local independent mini mart and I purchased 3 Desperados cans
Ironic,
so I was really
it was
depressed.
Desperado, yeah.
I also bought 3 packets of sweets and I ate them all.
I found myself being
I also had a
counsellor to
cigarette
many
as well.
people
Do you know
during
what?
that night.
I think this show will give people who maybe weren't happy with the turnout of this election. But you made an interesting point about art
mate.
and creative endeavours in times of political turmoil. Because
What did I say? Tell them what
we
I said.
said, and I did listen to it, and you did counsel me a lot actually during that sort of immediate aftermath, and I do appreciate that because I was up till about 2. I got about 4 hours sleep. And I had to go to work. Yeah, no, Gary was really great at counselling me, and so you mentioned about this creative endeavours thing, and it's like, because if you think of all the great sort of alternative comedians that were born out of a Thatcherite government, and then you think of the punk movement in the 70s, like this music was a reaction to the events that played out politically, and you do sort of think, oh, maybe the same thing could happen now because people are more unionised, people are more there's more of a community spirit. Like, even though it seems like a decision has been made with Brexit,
Yeah.
I feel among those communities, people hopefully will end this transition period and will come out better for it.
Yeah.
I would hope that.
I mean, just start. People are less unionised than they used to be, far less. But what comes out of something, and I appreciate that not all of our listeners will agree politically with this, but
Incidentally, if you are a Tory and you're listening to this pod,
do you? But they won't agree politically, but the people who do, who are disappointed with the result, very distraught with the result, I think that, the creative, that like from Thatcher came. Now I was saying I don't necessarily like a lot of that alternative Ben Elton type comedy.
My mum saw
I actually
Ben
think
Elton
it's
live
too
and
politically.
she said he was
Did
really
she?
good.
Yeah,
really,
he
really
probably
good.
is. I just when I have seen him, he hasn't been not live, but I've seen him like recorded. But what they inspires me now. Like, so Stuart Lee and Harry Hill, for example.
Well, we've just seen Stuart Lee live.
We saw Harry Hill a year ago, but it was absolutely brilliant, and Stuart Lee was brilliant. But that was inspired out of Thatcher. Had you not had Thatcher, you wouldn't have Stuart Lee now as a comedian. I'm pretty firm on that. I'm sure he would have been funny in some way, but I don't think he'd have been a stand-up comedian doing so well. But
yeah. So are you saying this podcast is going to get better now?
this isn't a podcast. This is therapy. This is therapy for us.
For many people, it is.
For us, no, for us.
We've got a support hotline available. Is it Gary@hotmail.com?
Gary, no, forrestal@hotmail.co.uk.
He'll answer all your problems.
Email me your feedback. Maybe email me your feedback. Don't send it to Mars. Oh, he sounds weedy.
Is your email voice weedier than your?
It's weedyforrestal@hotmail.co.uk.
I feel bad now that I said that.
Well, it's just weird. Why would you say that? Like, if I got feedback like that, I wouldn't tell you because I think it's so untrue that I wouldn't. Like, I'm not too fussed about it, but I am fussed in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say now. Gary's just walking back to the studio now, or his seat, as it's also called. How you doing? Feel better?
It's so satisfying going for a wee.
It is, isn't
it?
it?
Really is. Yeah.
It's one of those few
You
like,
weedy
pleasures in
little
life.
wee.
You weedy little fucking shit. It's nice because it's that relief. I'll tell you what's even better when you've relieved yourself externally as well.
What do you mean externally? We is external. What do you mean external? You mean anusly?
Through the
anus.
exit.
But
Callum.
it releases endorphins.
Does it?
Defecating or
Does it really?
urinating. Yeah, it releases
One
endorphins.
of the few pleasures in life in this hard time.
I need
Let's go for a
all
massive
the
dump.
endorphins relieved as I can because I'm not getting them relieved.
Were you depressed after the result then? Were you
No,
genuinely, like,
yeah,
depressed?
I was a bit shocked and kind
You were
of
shocked?
like a
Why
bit
did-
shaken, but I wasn't that shocked because of the polls. I looked at the polls and the polls were the polls, and I don't understand people who are shocked because every poll said this would happen. However, when it happened, because in 2017 all the polls were wrong and it was like, oh my god, there's no majority. Now it was like there's a small chance it'll be over. It won't be true, but it was true, and it was I wasn't depressed. I was counselling my friends. Well, Millie,
Oh,
Millie
yeah.
was just beside herself. As
Wow.
I was, but you were at the beginning. But then you were like, I'm in no mood for comedy. And then by the end,
I was cracking jokes left, right, and centre, mate. I was on fire.
You've never done that. You've never been on fire. But by 1 a.m, you're at least like, yeah.
I was a little bit. No, I was.
But that thing, like,
because I just like to go back to what we say. On the aftermath of the Brexit vote, I was fully depressed, and I think
that is
was
a depressing vote. I was absolutely depressed.
I feel like
day.
that was more annoying because it was just like it was
annoying. It's not the right word.
No,
But it
was emotional. I didn't feel as emotional. I felt angry at this one. I felt emotional last one. I felt angry this one, and I consoled myself. I had a resolve and chilled out.
You had resolve and some desperados, which it doesn't really work like that.
Same thing for me.
They're both fizzy.
Placebo.
They're both fizzy.
No, but do you know what? Now I feel good because I'm like, we're doing this podcast. We're gonna do some writing. We're still friends, and also that's what I was thinking. Like, you've got to think positively. All the things we've got to feel positive about. Like, I've got money in my account, mate. I've got you.
I've got money.
I've got a drink in my left hand.
Quite a bit of money in my account. Yeah.
Don't say that. Cause
no, I'm just kidding. I literally don't. I don't have money in my account.
Can I tie all this back to the show, actually? Because
please do.
They, in this show, and there are many reasons to be positive in life generally. Ricky is inquisitive to Karl's. They're quizzing Karl, and they said, "What's the best thing that's ever happened to you? What's the highest point of your life?" And Gary, I want to know, what is the highest point of your life now? You're 34, going on 35, and going on 40, 60, dead.
Nearly,
okay?
Nearly. No. 45 dead. Let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic.
Look at me right now.
If we ever
what
got
am
successful.
I doing? But do you know, actually, to tie it almost back to this week, actually, it's not one of the best feelings in my life was the first time I ever voted.
Was it really?
Yeah. It really was, because it's so even
so you were 18,
even this week.
18 is the legal age to vote.
Yeah, and I was
in this
about
country.
20. I was 21 because that was the first election that I could vote in, 2005.
UKIP weren't around then.
UKIP
So
were around. UKIP were around then.
Were you voting for them?
I BNP. I know I wasn't voting for UKIP, but I voted for Labour. But anyway, regardless of how I voted, voting felt very. I was very proud.
Do you know
but actually,
yeah.
and just in another way, and actually, when I voted this time, I felt very proud. I was great. I got to the polling station at 7:01. Literally,
Fucking.
it was already queue, so I thought that'd be a good result. But probably other than that, proudest is
Coming
I
from
don't
a
know,
green,
graduating or something. Yeah, and she increased her majority.
But was your
But do you feel about? Oh, sorry, go on.
What were you going to ask me?
Do you feel that voting makes you? It kind of empowers you. You feel powerful.
I'll be honest with you. When I went there to my local polling station, also making a decision that I was very, very sure of. I wasn't unsure of when I cast my vote in that ballot, and I won't tell you how I voted, but I'm pretty much going to guess. But when I folded that bit
He
of paper,
voted Labour. Go on.
Yeah, and thanks.
Don't cut that out. Go on.
And I put it in the box, and I was like, yes, I've done my duty. Because in Australia, it's compulsory. I didn't know this. It's compulsory to vote.
Yeah, you get a fine if you don't vote.
Yeah.
They have a 92 to 97% turnout.
Which is how it should be, I think. It's not for me to say how society should be run, but I genuinely think if everyone voted, it would be such a good moral responsibility. We should teach this in schools. We should get people engaged with politics, because I feel more fruitful, more politically engaged than I've ever felt like that. And I'm 29 now. It's taken a long time for me to get to this point. In that sort of youth quake that we saw in 2017, where loads of people were getting into voting, and particularly younger people, because I think in 5 years we're going to see a landslide of younger voters really making a positive change. The way I see it in society generally, you've seen this reflected in the climate marches, in the protests generally, the anti-austerity marches. All this stuff will try. It will come to a point where everyone will just go, I believe that children are the future, to quote Witters.
Apart from that, everything you just said I agree with, but apart from that ridiculous cliche, but I
do hate that guy.
But I don't think that necessarily children won't vote,
Do you want me
but
to sing it to you?
18 and over. But I think that we don't want to get too political in terms of what we agree, but I think
Educated
I
Miles.
think Labour will win quite easily the next election, but that's in 2024.
I think once this Brexit thing has passed and once people have had time to reflect.
This was the Brexit election, and we have to.
But it's not over.
No. But we have to realise that even though actually more people voted for anti-Brexit parties than Brexit parties, and Caroline Lucas posted that, and I was very proud of her and everything. However, we live in a first-past-the-post system, and the party that advocate Brexit got an 86 or an 80 seat majority. So it's very sad, but it is the way that it is.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased because when I met Mars in 2012, and it was kind of like I could never speak to him about politics because he just wasn't interested. He wasn't he wasn't stupid.
I was more interested in me out calling me fags, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
To quote a Oasis song.
But now, since Brexit election in 2016,
We can talk intelligently about it.
we can talk about it, not intelligently. I mean, anyway, we can talk about it weedily. Weed.
What does a weed sound like?
Weed. Do you remember What Truth Mother with Flower Pot, Bill and Ben?
Yeah.
Weed. There's and one went and then in the middle of them was like weed.
Ah.
Is that what I sound like?
No, I think it was just higher. Your pitch is
Yeah,
higher.
but my pitch is not high.
Also, I feel strange that I know a friend.
I wish it was. I wish it was.
I
high.
feel weird that I've got a friend called Gary. But I'm also thankful for that in a weird way. Just can't imagine your mum.
I was watching.
Your mum gives birth. She says, "Well, that was a surprise."
Well, Gary Glitter was probably
was it
no,
really?
it was, but no, it wasn't. But I was watching Pointless on the toilet, and
Thanks very much.
they were saying there was 2 Garys on the episode, and Richard Osman was like, "We're double Gary." That's like the name Gary's dying, yet we're double
That's what I
Gary
mean.
here in Pointless.
There are no kids in 2019 who are going to be called Gary.
No one's called Gary.
Also, I think you've got the Cheshire. Yeah, I always think of like Gary Lineker or what was that other one? That footballer that was like quite controversial. Gascoigne.
Yeah, he wasn't called Gary.
I know he wasn't, but it's the G. It's the harsh sound of the g.
He was Gaza, as in.
That's what I mean. Then he was all like Gaza Gascoigne. It's like. So that's what I was thinking of you, and I was like, I've never called you Gaza, nor will I ever will.
The only person in my life who's called me Gaza or Gaz is my dad, and
but in jest.
But the one that I preferred out of all of them was my friend when I moved to Brighton to go to uni, and he was a real London lad, and he called me Gal, and I love that Gal. Yeah,
like
Gal.
Gal
All right,
Gadot.
Gal. No, not Gal
Gadot.
No.
The actress who played Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
what he
she's
called me, the
attractive.
actress who played Wonder Woman.
She's
That's what he said.
Gary, can
We're talking too much.
Can I be honest with you?
Do what you like, love.
I want to go through some of my favourite quotes.
Oh, so now can we give one each?
We can do one each. I'll allow you that, mate.
No, don't allow me. It's
I permit it.
It's such a.
Can I? So listeners, I've collated 5 of my favourite quotes from the show, and Gary now is also going to read his favourite quotes from the show.
Can I? I'm going to do mine first. So, one of the things I love Ricky, I absolutely love, is when Ricky, he does this thing where, and I can't even describe it properly, but he trips over his words on purpose. So one of them is when, it's not this show, because he says about Karl pressing the buttons, but there's another show where he goes, no, hang on, don't say it. He goes, Karl, they're pressing the buttons. Like, pressing the buttons.
Because he gets bored, and even at the start, when he introduces the song, he's like, that was Coldplay and In My Place. And then he says, bored. How long do you think you keep up? Bored.
You're bored already. But this
That's
is.
I mean, they weren't afraid of saying how they felt on that, because most shows now, like, you listen to like a program radio, and there's this like, and Karl brings it up. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do jobs like this anymore, where you have to be happy all the time. And Ricky's like, and that's a later episode where he says, no, you don't have to be happy. It's like, no, you do. And that kind of makes sense. You listen to like Greg James or Fern Cotton, or like there's a pressure there to be engaging and happy, because
Cox.
Yes.
it's Sarah Croc something. But my favourite example of him tripping over his words deliberately is in this show where he goes, "The good thing about a lumberjack cheese is you don't have to have any dressing on it."
That's number one in my quotes.
Oh well, I'm sorry, but it's just I had to say that.
The good thing about nice
Don't have
lumberjack
to have any dressing on it because he just trips over it deliberately, and it works. It's so funny.
Don't have to have any dressing on it. And then the second one is those two fat birds they did on Shawshank Redemption when they're talking about opera, because I just think that's fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
I wouldn't listen to an old opera.
I don't listen to that. But my other one is I think my favourite quote of the show, other than the one I just did, was when Steve's talking about Amdram, and he goes,
Thumbelina,
no. He goes, "This is how desperate they were for blokes," and Ricky goes, "Well, you." That's just such it's so subtle, but it's so just subtle.
And you go, "Yeah, all right."
But you know, I'll talk to you about do quotes, and then I'll tell you this fact.
Do you think this is the worst show we've ever done? Do you think this is the worst? Because it's the first time where they fully acknowledge that the show is rubbish.
Yeah, but they do that a lot. But that's the first example.
But it's self-deprecating without being self-deprecating, because they probably do think it's shit. But it's so funny.
No, they know it's funny, yeah.
Yeah, but you do like no, but they enjoy spending time with Karl. They don't care if anyone's listening.
It's shit if you compare it to the standards of a normal radio show.
That's true.
But it's not shit. But
so number 4,
wait, my one.
Sorry, please continue.
Is Steve saying when he said about the space cake and the meat and space cake, and they could read each other's minds, and Steve goes and afterwards they met up, and Steve goes, "Why did they meet up? Why didn't they just think it?" Which is brilliant.
Have you ever had space cake?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you.
Was it?
I haven't. No.
Have you not?
No.
But you've had marijuana, haven't you?
Yeah. I haven't eaten any cake.
I've had it twice, illegally, I guess you would say. And I didn't. The first time I didn't feel anything, and the second time I was just ill. I was sick, and I remember. Oh, this is funny, Gary. This was a New Year's Eve, circa 2006 or 7. Like when I was really excited about drinking. I mean, don't get me wrong, still really excited about drinking. And it was New Year's Eve, and there was this girl, and I got off with this girl post smoking this thing. And then I felt
I can't imagine you, because Mars is so anti-drug since I've known him.
Yeah, but this was only because I was like, oh, yeah, all right.
Everyone else is doing it. You follow. No, I don't. Easily.
At that age, everyone did.
No, but you do at 29.
Do you think? Do you think
do?
That about me?
Yes. Not about me, but about no.
What do I do? What do I do?
I think you would do it if people were doing it and you were out with them at your work.
I think if it was legal, I probably would do it. I think it's the fact that it's illegal that puts me off. I don't like breaking the law, and I've had several run-ins with the law myself. Several run-ins.
Why'd you keep killing babies? Why'd you keep killing babies?
And then anyway, so I got off with this girl. Time passed, and I was sick, and then we were all going to bed, and I was going to go and sit in another room to go to bed. And the girl,
like a nan.
Yeah,
Nan, go to that room and in that rocking chair.
I knew there was a bed there, and I was like, oh, I do like a bed, me. And then this girl was sitting outside the room.
On my penis.
And I said, well, I'm gonna go to bed. Does anyone want to come with me? And I looked directly into her eyes, and she was like, no, I'm all right here. That's not even a lie.
That's my experience of women.
And then everyone looked at me like, oh, for fuck. Also, like, that would be attractive, like, sick coming down my chin.
Oh,
and
God,
then go, does anyone that potentially have sex, which I haven't had yet until this point? And then my first time, no, it was 19 when I lost my virgin.
You're 9.
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought this was when you were 20. Oh, did you say 18? Oh, okay.
I would have been 2006. I would have been 2006.
16. You were like 27.
No, 6.
Okay,
16.
yeah, all right, okay.
And so I was like, so even if that would have been a case, she would have been the first woman to have ever seen me naked, with sick rolling down my...
Except your mother, breastfeeding.
Quote number 4. I'm after one of those... This is towards the end. This is from a listener, and they said, yeah, I'm after one of those armbands to meet Bowie.
Oh, brilliant. Do you know, Karl's rock bus? It's so good.
Karl
Karl laughs. But it's
And then
it's
Steve
actually
just goes, piss off.
it is actually boring to do Rockbusters with listener involvement. However, there are two gems in the first
That
two
one
days
that you
they're doing.
mentioned in the previous episode, which you can
the-
also listen to on Apple
yeah,
iTunes.
the one where he says Simon Mail used to do this, but
Yes.
then this one where he says, "Sorry, I'm not after anything that just is going on now. I just want one of those armbands for me, Bowie."
It's like, piss off.
Piss off, Steve. Guys, piss off.
And number 5, and this is kind of a smaller, like they've just come out of a song, and this is one of the links. Ricky's stuffing his face with toilet roll and he's going, and Carl just brilliantly, just subtly says, "Do you know that actually makes me want to?"
Yeah,
do you know that
yeah.
actually makes me want
It's
to?
not
be
even
sex?"
subtle. It's just blatant. It's not.
But he says it's so dead. The thought that
Can't
Ricky's
believe
just
Ricky did that.
He just stuffing his face with toilet roll,
Can't believe it.
and then to do it on air, like, it's unbelievable. I think it's so funny, that story that they tell, and it's Ricky meeting David Bowie, being invited onto Jonathan Ross' show. and
Ricky
Steve
is in the wrong on that.
Steve is
Ricky's
so
in the wrong, but
pissed
Steve's
off.
in the right. Like, because Steve might not have been given a ticket because Ricky was famous and Steve wasn't. However, Ricky didn't even ask because he would have said, he would have said, "Oh, by the way, no, Steve, don't worry, I asked." No, but he didn't ask and he didn't
Yeah.
tell him. He is a little wanker than that.
I know,
He's wrong.
because honestly, if you ever got the chance to see Oasis and you didn't tell me that you went to see Oasis or you had tickets to see them, I would unfriend you. If I
Yeah,
had
or
social
something
media,
like Stuart Lee, like, you know, just something else in
Yeah.
a comedy version.
Can I
you've
tell-
seen Stuart
Can I tell
Lee,
you,
but-
Gary?
You seen Stuart Lee?
No.
Don't fuck around for me. But do you know? I was in Amdram. I did Amdram.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
What,
yeah.
what were you in, Andrew?
I did
So Steve talking
a
about
show about the pharaohs.
what?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. I can't remember. I was like 10, but it was Amdram.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was Amdram. I did Amdram. I don't
I
think
can't
I've ever told
imagine you
that.
being like that enthusiastic
But you
about
know-
anything.
No,
Let
I'm
alone,
not.
like the
No,
theatre
but-
where you have to be.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Ian McKellen.
But I did Amdram, and I do you know what I was very good
Were you a
at?
tree?
Impersonating other people, because we used to do exercises in class, and one of them was impersonate someone else in class, and I always used to get it quite good. So I'm quite pleased with that. But I was shit at
The
acting.
birth of your comedy career, in many ways, people would not say.
People would not say because it's not been born yet. I'm waiting for the birth. It's a stillbirth. Oh god,
Oh,
that's
don't
terrible.
say
No,
that.
that's terrible. Sorry.
What's the great Pilconi gonna do? I didn't do Amdram site, but I did like a play school, like a school where you
Play
did,
school
like,
is
yeah.
school when you're 4.
Yeah, I did do that too. Just about past
We all
with
did.
flying colours. Do you remember any of your play school days?
Yeah, I remember chasing 2 people around with a foam brick.
Yeah. Is that your KKK days?
Yeah, yeah. yeah.
All right. Sort of a joke, isn't it?
It's my Brexit party days.
And no, and I got really excited because I was like, I just thought like I really want to do theatre because I'm quite a big personality, and no, I am though. No, but I'm a theatrical person.
But do you know,
I'm into
hang
the
on,
arts.
can I by all means carry on in a minute, but I was like that. I did a magic show and I knew no magic when I was 6, and I was like, right, I just want to do a magic show, and they were
Yeah.
like, do you know any magic? I was like, yeah, I'll be fine when I go on. I know no magic. I just wanted to be on a stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, but by the time I did Amdram, I was far more like conservative and like I was a bit more shy. But I still went up on stage and did a play in front of 6 or 7 people.
Did your parents turn up to that one?
No, they were drinking,
I used
playing
to-
darts. They were. No,
used
they
to-
were. They did turn up. Yeah.
I used to play steel pans in school.
Do, do, do,
Yeah.
do, 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 do.
No,
Were
so
you
it's-
Jamaican?
Yeah, no, this is what was the weirdest thing. It's like normal, it was like a white sort of working class sort of school that I went to, my high school. And for some reason, we just had this Jamaican heritage,
But- yeah,
whereby
that's
we
so
had this
funny.
steel class. And my proudest moment, I think we're talking about proudest moment, best moments ever. We did a Bond medley, all on steel pans. And so it was like, diamonds are forever, forever, forever.
But did you know the complexities of like making a C or a B,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
different
No, 'cause
note?
they're all written out for you on the
Oh,
steel
right,
pan. So
okay, yeah.
it's actually a really good instrument. It sounds quite like nice, and we were part of this this choir and this band, and I felt like I found my place.
I've always said Miles would fit in most in Jamaica. That's what I've always said that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what they say, isn't it, in Jamaica?
It's what they say in a lot of racist hotels.
I don't like Bob Marley, so whatever.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That was one of my proudest moments, and it was just seeing the applause and seeing my mum, because my dad wasn't there. Definitely seeing my mum there was a proud moment.
Your mum was there, yeah.
And also, my proudest
your mum
moment,
would have been at my play had she known about me.
My proudest moment was and not to bring it all morbid, but speaking at my grandfather's funeral.
Well, I was proud of you for that moment. Because we talked about that
yeah.
a lot before. A lot. We had a long conversation before.
An interviewer who I was going in for a job with, they said, "What's your proudest moment?" I was like, "Oh, the interview's going good. I'm going to drop them dead." They said, "What's the proudest moment you've ever had?" They're probably expecting like a job role. Yeah, my proudest moment was managing a team of up to 20 people. I was like, yeah, speaking at my grandfather's funeral. Killed the mood.
Yeah, we'll get in touch with you. See you later. See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
But no, I was proud of that, and I think if anyone wants to do any sort of that I don't know, it's that feeling of that cathartic release of emotions in a public setting. It's very I don't know, it makes you feel really good.
Yeah, I spoke at my nan's funeral, but I didn't speak the words
it your
that I
comedy
wrote.
set?
No, it wasn't. It was part of a psalm or something.
Next up, we've got.
I said something
the
like.
comes on and goes, great one there, one there. We've got a brilliant act next. So this is Mr. Gary Frost. He's coming up and he's doing a Peas poem. Peas
had at least 2 acts on stage. He had at least 2 performances. Because they do say that. They say, well, he's had 500 performances on stage.
Yeah. Well, I got a round of applause for mine, and I was like, there was jokes in there.
Probably quite sympathetic.
Yeah,
I imagine.
But
whatever it had been like, you'd have got a round of applause. No, I'm proud of you for doing it. Whatever.
End, it's madness.
Yeah.
But I did sort of see myself relaxing into the role as I did it. I was sort of going. You like that one? You're gonna bloody love the shit.
Well, the one you left out was the one that I told you was the best thing. Anyway, it's the balloons material. We won't get because they won't understand. But yeah, next person who dies, I'll tell you. Follow my advice. And I
can't wait for that happy moment in our lives.
So this
has been the D Trout Spinners podcast, and I've been.
I wish we'd had. Sorry, could I just interject at this point?
You may.
I wish we called it a different name, and the listeners might like that. You know, the name. Hopefully, they'll get used to it. But there were many other names that would have been better
when we came up with the podcast. I think it was mine. Sorry.
His little legs would have been good.
Karl talking about monkeys.
There's other ones that would have been good as well. But D-Track Spinners is a good compromise, and we're going to stick with it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you listened to Deep Trout Spinners today. If you're politically engaged and you're sad, hopefully this cheered you up and didn't make you worse.
No, I don't think so. And
I could beat up a child, so I'm not that weedy. That's the things we've learnt today. Do you know what I mean? We've learnt a lot of things.
Learnt a lot about each other as well.
Exploring yourself.
And each other.
And Asia.
So, D-Trout Spinners with Miles Purnell, and you've also been here.
Gary Forrester, sorry.
Get it right. Like and subscribe. Please do for all future podcasts. We'll be back soon, I hope. Mm-hmm. What, do you hope the same?
Not really.
No.
See you later.
See ya, bye.